So, when I started reading this book, the first line I wrote for the notes was just, please don't be a piece of shit. So, um, I'm not entirely sure if this book is going to be long enough for this. We'll see. Uh, so, this book is called Dragon Shadow, and, um, it's pretty cool. Jade is a thief, but she only steals from people who deserve it. Like the thing that she's stealing is a mirror, and it's the guy who's using it is like stalking this girl, and he's using the mirror to stalk her. So Jade takes the mirror so that the girl's not being stalked anymore. And she also took a magic horn so that they could fence it. And yeah, um, Jade, I think Jade used to be a dragon. I think she used to be able to turn into a dragon, but she can't anymore because someone stole her magic. So I think that's going to be a plot point for the second book. I like this book, so I already know I'm gonna read the second one. It's gonna be pretty great. Um, Ruby, her sister, is a witch. She gets kidnapped by some vampires who want the horn. Jade is arrested for stealing from a Fae subject, but she's allowed to help them find the horn with the help of a knight named Davril. He does not like her. He is also the same guy who arrested her. Um, a lot of the world building is leaked, which is good. Fae have always been on Earth and magic, but now the worlds have merged. Uh, yeah. The queen says that they were forced out, but not by what, so that's probably also going to be a plot point for the next few books. Davril and Jade follow some leads, and they find a witch with the horn. She uses it to resurrect a demon, and they escape. Davril is bitten by a giant spider. Gross, I hate that entire scene. I skipped over the whole thing. Jade gets him home and healed. They talk about their past. Davril finds out that Ruby has been kidnapped and rearrests Jade because he thinks that that's her only motivation for trying to help them, even though Jade's involved now. Like, she saw the demon get resurrected. She doesn't want the world to go to shit because she lives in it. They find out that the queen is in danger, and the queen believes her, and not the queen, Jessla is just like, she's like a library person. She knows all of the things. The queen's in danger, Jessla believes her, and the attack has started now. There's a troll who is a diversion. The evil witch gets to the queen and poisons her. They take her to Davril's home so she can help. But only a non-Fae magic can heal her, so they need Ruby. So, Evil Witch wants the prince to rule so that he can open the portals because he thinks that that'll save the Fae. It probably won't, but that's what he thinks. And it'll also bring Evil Witch's master to the world, which is bad. So they go get Ruby, and Jade realizes that the guy who kidnapped Ruby is the one who stole her fire. Now he's trying to heal them. Ruby heals the queen, and then she chases off the dragon. Pretty cool. This book, not a lot of like super important things happen in this book. I suppose all of it's important, but at the same time, like you can very clearly tell that that's not the end of that book. I like Jade. She's a genuinely good person, and she does bad things, but for good reason. Like, stealing is not good, but she does it for a good reason. She's kind of sarcastic and annoys Davril. Davril is kind of unraveled by Jade, like in a good way, though. He has all this guilt, but rightly so in his mind. Jade's love, while aggravating at times, is good. They aren't in love by the end, but they were getting there, so it's not going to take a lot for them to get back to it. Davril likes her, and I can really tell that Davril likes her, despite the book being in first person, which I like. I also like the idea of the worlds already being combined. Like, there's, they're in New York, and, like, Ruby has a broom because she's a witch. So she flies above New York, and, like, there's, like, traffic jams up there. And I don't know what they do about the airplanes. Maybe they don't fly as high as the airplanes because oxygen. So that's pretty cool. It's just New York and the forest, which is fine. The monsters are kind of creepy, but I just have an overactive imagination to things like things like spiders. I can confidently put this book at number 2. So that means that it's above A Light on the Hill and Dragon's Champion and Raven's Mark. But it's not above Nora and Kettle. Nora and Kettle's still the cutest. So that was only 5 minutes. So I'm going to do another book. This book is called Sword of Secrets. And this book, like Chosen, at first I didn't like it, but upon upon like revisiting and more thinking about it, that's a good book. So the Greek gods and all of that are like real. Like all of the pantheons are real. Every single one. Greek, Roman, I guess not necessarily Roman because those are the same thing. Greek, Japanese, Sumerian, Egyptian, all of those are real. And Gavin is a descendant of the Norse gods. And I believe it's the Sumerian gods. Yeah, it's the Sumerian gods are angry that they've been forgotten. So they decide to start messing shit up. And every pantheon has champions. Gavin is one of the champions. So he is found by some like members of his pantheon. The cool grandma's name is Babd, and the lady's name is Gunnar. I think Gunnar is just a Valkyrie. Yeah. So Gavin's also having these dreams about like being a different person, being like one of the Greek gods who like disappeared because nobody remembers him. So I think that Gavin is actually a god. He just doesn't remember. So they're like having like this whole thing, and also they took Gavin's friend with him because he didn't want to go without him. And also he's a descendant of Greek gods, I believe. Irish. Celtic? I think it's Celtic. So like they like him too. Gavin also like shows like really good potential for like magic and all of this stuff. Like he can be really strong. Like I think he took down Thor. I think so. Remember the Sumerians? Yeah, they fucking shit up. So now they meet this girl named Kira Gunnar because Hunter doesn't like their names because they're hard to pronounce. So Gunnar is now Kira, and Gavin likes Kira, but he kind of messes it up with Freya. I don't know if her myth is correct, but Freya just sleeps with anything that walks if she wants something. So that's weird. And they're training. Kira and Gavin kiss. Kira regrets it. Freya and I don't speak. Nope. Yngvarr. They come to Earth, and I'm gonna call him Ying. They freak out because Ying can calm Gavin because Gavin's got like anger issues. Wait, no, other way around. Ying's the one with anger issues, and Gavin can calm him down, and they freak out because nobody can really do that. But Ying is the brother of the guy that Gavin is dreaming about. So, yeah, they're like starting to maybe agree that he might be a god. So that's cool. More training. They also go to Asgard because the Sumerians know where he is. So they go to training. Odin doesn't know anything. Odin is kind of a dick. Kira tells Gavin to get a hold of himself and not to let Freya and Ying like drag him into this world when he's not the person that they think he is. I think he's that person, but there are 2 more books, so we'll find out. I get kind of lost at the end. I think his family is threatened, and then I think he gets kidnapped by the Sumerians. I'm not entirely sure. It's a cool concept though. I like the idea of like ancient gods being like, oh, so now you just forgot about me? Like, take Egypt, for example. It's like, oh, so we're just not going to worship me anymore? We're not going to write hieroglyphs anymore? Okay. And then they come back and just start messing everything up. I also like Gavin. I get his whole, like, thing about, like, not wanting to be I get his whole frustration. Because, like, yeah. I only really know, like, for the Norse mythology, part of the reason I didn't like it, I guess, because I just didn't know very much about it. I only really know Loki's stories and Ragnarok, and I like it, though. this book was actually at the point where I realized that I needed to change the bad book list to account for books like Vampire Sword and Sword of the Secrets and Hitchhiker's Guide and Enchanters of Numbers. Even though Enchanters of Numbers is not on this list, I'm probably going to move it. I changed it to, like, I love Hitchhiker's Guide and I own the Ultimate Edition. I'm actually going to reread it later for this thing that I'm doing on YouTube, but for the life of me, I could not tell you what happened in those last 3 books. Like, I read the whole thing and I was following along. I don't know what happened. Um, yeah. So then calling it the wouldn't read again book list does not denote badness and it does not know goodness. I'm gonna tell you if I think it's good or bad, but it doesn't do that. So I recommend it, and this book has since moved to the good book list. I guess I should probably rename the good book list then too, but I don't know what to call that one. I guess I could just call it would read again list, but I mean, I think I'm gonna call that list I like it books. I like it. Yeah. I'm gonna call that list I like it.